Hi, and welcome back to a Save It for Parts behind the scenes episode. This one is going to go out to subscribers on Patreon and members on the YouTube channel first. I'll think about releasing it to the general channel, but that might not happen for a while. So for now, if you're seeing this early, then enjoy the sneak peek. I've been getting a lot more viewers lately on the channel, which I'm outright surprised by. Nobody seems to know how this YouTube algorithm works, especially me, so I'm always amazed when the graph of subscribers and views just keeps going up and up and up. I keep watching it in the morning when the analytics come out and I see, oh, it started to go down, it started to plateau, and then the next day it's up again. So I have no idea what's going on with that, but hey, people like the stuff, I guess I'll keep making stupid videos. Now, as I'm getting more subscribers and more views and more comments and whatnot, there are a few comments that I see repeated over and over, and a few, I guess, frequently asked questions. So I'll try to address some of those. It's not an official question and answer session since I haven't opened this up to people submitting questions, but maybe that's something I can do in the future. Anyway, one thing people seem to want to know is, do I read all the comments? Do I respond to all the comments? Yes and no. YouTube's comment system doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's really easy to see new comments on a video. It's very difficult to see replies. You get a little notification bell up in the upper right, but you only get about 9 or 10 notifications before it just starts scrolling and overflowing, and it's really hard to find stuff in there. When I go into the comments in my channel dashboard, I can see all the new ones. I can change the filters so that I see ones I've already replied to, but to go through there and to find old replies is pretty difficult. So if you've replied to me once, I've probably read it, maybe I've responded to it, I've at least probably clicked the thumbs up and the heart button. If it was a particularly trolly comment, I might click the thumbs down button. If it was a really stupid comment, like the Flat Earth people, well, they just get deleted. Sorry guys, the Earth is round, deal with it. So long story short, I definitely missed some comments along the way. Sometimes I'll be scrolling through and I'll see new comments from 4 or 5 days ago that should have showed up when I went through and looked, but somehow didn't. Again, I don't quite know if YouTube holds them, if it thinks they're offensive. I don't know how they get lost in the system, but sometimes they just do. Now, as channels get bigger, I've noticed there are a lot more scammy and spam comments. When people start to get popular, there's a lot of Bitcoin scams, there's a lot of people posing as creators out there, phishing emails, weird stuff like that. So if you ever see me pushing Bitcoin, I'm not a big Bitcoin guy. I think Bitcoin itself is a scam, so I will never be out there offering cryptocurrency. I will never be saying, oh, click here and get 100 free Doge coins. I'm not going to be out there pushing it. So if you see anybody pushing it on there, they're a scammer, report that comment. Now, sometimes people ask, how do I do so well at these videos? How am I so good at putting myself out there and talking and not making mistakes? I make plenty of mistakes. I just edit it like crazy. So you'll see jump cuts, you'll see spots where I've dubbed over the audio. You'll definitely see a lot of my mistakes if you pay attention. I'm still learning how to edit. I'm still learning how to talk coherently, how to have a coherent train of thought without just rambling. If you listen to some of the podcasts I've done, you'll hear me rambling like crazy. When I'm not able to edit myself, I just go on and on and on, and I go off topic, and I'm all over the place. Like right now. Maybe I'll throw some of the failed outtakes in here so you can see how many times I have to try to get a coherent sentence out sometimes. Get something old that actually is made. Get something really old that's really good quality, like that Criterion I found from the 60s. Get something really old that's in really good condition. Get something old that's a good brand. Delete this. Alright, a couple people have asked about the reviews I've been doing. So I do get occasional emails, solicitations from companies. They say, hey, we want to send you this thing. Can you review it? Can you make us an Amazon review, whatever? I don't do Amazon reviews. That's against their policy. And I definitely don't take up every company on their reviews. I've had a bunch of emails from a bunch of weird stuff that I honestly don't really care about. If I do a sponsored review video on here, it's because it's a product I'm actually interested in, like a flashlight, thermal camera, surveillance camera, some other gadget that I actually think I could use. I think maybe the people that watch my channel would be interested in it, and I try to be very fair and honest. As I say in every review video, if the product sucks, I'm going to tell you, hey, this is garbage. Fortunately, I haven't had too many of those. There have been a couple things that, once I reviewed one of them, I kind of gave up on that product. For example, those 5G solar standalone cameras. Yeah, I get the idea, they're kind of cool, but I just don't use them. I've gotten like 20 or 30 companies wanting to send me more of those things, but each one needs its own app, it needs its own SIM card, it needs its own song and dance to get it set up. If there was something standard like the OnVIF thing that a lot of NVRs use, I would use those in a heartbeat. I would use those at home. I would set up a regular NVR if I could record that and not have to go through 30 different apps for 30 different cameras. I've asked every company, hey, will this work with my existing NVR? And they say, no, you have to use our weird cloud app that's the same but different from everyone else's cloud app. So I just say, nah, no thanks, I don't need any more of those cameras. And, you know, the ones I reviewed were just fine. They worked great. They still kept working after a year. I've got one up on the roof that's still working. I've got one out at Sandland that's still working. I just don't have a lot of motivation to get more of those like that. All right, so that's enough of me babbling about random stuff. Another big question people have asked is what's on the to-do list? And related to that, I get a lot of comments where people say, hey, you should try this next on your project. Oh, you should do this refinement. As I've said a lot lately, I have ADHD, I jump around between projects, I get bored with stuff, I come back to stuff, I leave stuff. So I also definitely have seasonal stuff. A lot of the electronics projects, a lot of the radio, satellite dish projects are winter things when I can sit in the house, I can do Python code, I can do electronics, I can do soldering. I don't really want to do a lot of that stuff in the summer. I want to be outside, I want to be in the yard, I want to be out on the boat. So summer is when I do more of the outdoor projects, and you'll start seeing more of those videos coming up because it's spring now. I definitely do have a backlog. I have some electronic stuff still in the pipeline, backlogged videos. I have some projects that I haven't quite finished yet that I'm trying to get done so I can push them aside and move on to something else. I haven't even taken the tarp off any of the boats yet, so I'm really hoping to do that soon so we can get some boat projects going, get our jet boat rebuilt, and get that out on the water. And then I do have some more railroad projects. A couple people have asked, when am I going to come out with another railroad speeder? When am I going to fix up the one I have? Well, that's maybe one of the next big videos, so hopefully that'll come out in the next month or so. We'll see. Beyond that, I have this whole notebook of kind of ideas, to-do list stuff, all kinds of thoughts and notes and just random garbage that comes into my head, and I write down and I say, oh, that could be a cool video. And I try to kind of organize it and color code it and say which things are easy, which things are hard, which things do I have the parts for, which things don't I have parts for, what have I already filmed and I can use the video, what am I doing out at Sandland, what am I doing at home. Yeah, it gets to be a mess. It's lists of lists of lists, and there's a lot on here. So I probably have 2-3 years of stuff just in this one notebook, and I start a new notebook every year. So probably never get through all the ideas, but at least I'll stay busy. Anyway, hopefully this has been a fun little behind-the-scenes video and isn't too much boring filler. I'm going to throw this out to Patreon. I'm going to throw it out to my subscribers. I really appreciate everybody that's willing to actually pay me to produce junk like this. Thank you very much. I will try to continue producing quality, some kind of quality, maybe not high quality, but some kind of quality videos and products. And yeah, we'll see where this whole YouTube thing goes. If you're watching this after I've released it to the general channel, thank you for watching, and hey, if you want to consider jumping on Patreon or becoming a YouTube subscriber, you'll get to see stuff like this early, you'll get to see other behind-the-scenes things, you'll usually get to see most of my videos a week early, so I try to post videos about every Wednesday after work, about 5:30, 6 p.m. Yes, I do have a day job, that's another common question. So I try to post stuff after work on Wednesday, and for Patreon and for YouTube subscribers, I post the next week's video usually at the same time, although sometimes I dink around with the schedule a little bit and I shuffle things around. We get a different video the next week, or we get something on Friday or Monday, but generally I try to maintain that at least once a week schedule. Here I am babbling again. I'm going to finish my delicious product placement beverage here, which I would love to become a sponsor for, hint hint, but stay tuned to see what we come up with in the future, and we'll see you next time.